It is episode 565
Woof.
of the WCB podcast. Kurt Geyer speaking.
Eric Harmon.
Doug Schmidt.
We have two very handsome in-studio guests. We'll just start from my left to right. Take it away.
Mike Mansell.
Brennen Nading.
Oh, shit.
Oh, way to go, Kurt.
Try again.
Brennen Nading.
There we go.
I unmuted. I had your mic muted, unmuted the other one, and then muted your mic.
You donkey.
Welcome to the Working Class Bow Hunter, where we strive on the highest quality of content.
Of shit showness.
That's what we do. Thanks for being here, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet.
The Breaking Point TV.
Yes.
You are the crew. You guys put out some impressive work, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.
We got it playing in the studio. We've been doing that with our in-studio guests, playing their videos in studio, and I think it's more fun for us because we get to watch it while we talk. But I think
you guys probably hate it.
the listener suffers, I think, a little bit because we get quiet because we're like into the videos, and then we're like, oh shit, yeah, we got to talk because the listener's not watching the videos. So, what's up, boys? What's new? It's been a while.
Not much. We just finished up filming our 10th season this last fall, and right now we're kind of on the...
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thanks.
But right now we're kind of right in the middle of coming to the end of trade show season, just
Yeah.
like you guys are. We've been
Yeah.
at quite a few of the same ones you guys have been, and looking forward to that. Looking forward to busting out the golf clubs.
Yeah.
Probably after turkey season, but
Yeah.
yeah.
10 seasons. You guys tired of it yet?
No, not at all.
Well, when's the last time you guys were on the podcast? Like 2018,
Oh, gosh.
2017?
ATA, wasn't
Yeah, I
it?
was at ATA. I don't remember what year that was.
28. It had to be 18, 19.
Yeah.
I think so.
Somewhere in there. Because then we had COVID.
Yeah. It was. I'm trying to think. It
was 18 or
It was like the
19.
second or third year we met you guys.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy how time flies, isn't it?
Yeah. It's freaking nuts.
I think it was the first year you guys had like the podcast set up at ATA. I
Yeah.
think
Which would have been 2017 or 2018.
it was probably 18.
18.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
First legit podcast setup, like in the room.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, probably 2018.
Yeah.
Early 2018. Crazy, man.
It's cool to see how far you guys have come since then. Because I remember the first time meeting you guys at ATA when Dylan, I think, introduced us to you guys.
Yep.
And he was talking about you guys and doing a hunting podcast. And I'm like,
Yeah.
who the hell does a hunting podcast at the time?
Right.
And to see what you guys have done with it is
And that's
it's unreal.
that's where I met Dylan. Was my first ATA was at a bar because he was the only one drinking Busch Light. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with this guy.
Is that really how that happened?
Yeah, because that's when. Remember that year I went with Brody that I worked with,
Yeah.
and then we went out to a bar and Dylan was sitting there at the bar drinking Busch Light, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go talk to this guy.
So that would have been 2017.
It was funny because the next day he came to us at the show and he's like, yeah, I met these guys last night and they do like a hunting podcast. And we're like, what the hell are you talking about, a hunting podcast?
You were drunk. You don't know.
That is so it's funny because we'll meet like you might meet someone, then you bring them like to the WCB
Right,
family,
right.
and I always like could never remember how we met you guys, and that's explains it because I must have not have been with you when you met him.
No, because remember you came down
I drove overnight to come to
overnight.
ATA.
So the first night I was there is when I met them.
Yeah, so isn't that crazy? There's a ton
weird.
of people in the industry who are friends with them. Like I don't remember like how. I just feel like I've always known them. You know what I mean? So, but likewise with you guys kill it, man. Like you guys put out a good product, and you guys both do this full time,
Yep.
and it shows why when you watch your guys' videos why you guys are able to both do it full time.
Yeah.
So, how long have you guys both been doing it as your job?
This October will be 5 years for me.
That's impressive.
And then
I walked away from my job a year after Mike, so 4 years for me.
And what did you guys do before?
I worked at a paper mill back in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I actually used to work for a wildlife agency in Wisconsin, and then that was a 6-month temp job, and then I also did construction the other 6 months. And once I landed permission to hunt a farm in Iowa, and I just started applying for jobs. I landed a job out of Des Moines for Springer Home Solutions, and I packed my shit and moved to Iowa just to hunt deer,
Just for hunting.
just for hunting.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
See, that's cool, man. And how often do you guys hear the term "must be nice"?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
And I just talked to Brandon Jennings, as in podcast time. It'd be a couple weeks ago, but he talked about what he did. He worked in a factory for Ford for like 20 years, and then finally got to the point where he does what he wants to do, but he always hears must be nice. And I like to touch on that. I think it's important to touch on that thing a little bit here, especially with our name, working class bow hunter. There's a lot of people say we're not working class, especially now that I'm full time and now that you're working towards full time, and nobody knows what Doug does. But it's annoying, but I think people need to hear it a little bit.
Well, a lot of people think like you guys just go out and hunt for a living. That's all you do.
Yeah, that's all you do, right? You guys don't do any work but just
Nothing
hunt,
on this
right?
side. Nothing in there. And when you're
You
not
guys,
hunting,
yeah, you guys are the one exception in the industry, right? Like you just go hunting. That's it.
Yep. Just something like that. Yep.
No, I mean, besides our show, we run a production company, so we do work for companies obviously in the hunting industry, but outside of the hunting industry. I mean, really anything that you can take a video camera to go record and document.
Yeah.
We do work for.
Yeah.
So I would say the hunting side is, 75% of what we do, but there's also a good majority of other work that we do that pays for the rest of our bills.
because
So,
back in the day, these guys they shot my wedding for me. They
Yep.
were
Right, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So when you say hunting companies, are you producing other hunting shows, or are you just doing like marketing videos and
Yeah.
stuff for like just companies?
yeah, we do, marketing video work for them, or,
New product release videos, anything along
social
those
media
lines.
management, things like that.
So if someone had a hunting show, they're just like, I don't know anything about editing, but I have all this great footage. Is that something you'd be willing to do? If they're like, hey, produce our show for us, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if the opportunity,
The
came
money's
about,
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
If it's worth the time.
yeah.
Right. That's a big thing because you have to worry about the quality of product you're putting out.
Exactly. And I can't speak for editing. Mike here does. He edits all the main shows, as far as the Breaking Point goes. Aaron, who couldn't make it today because he's down in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Bassmaster Classic, he edits all of our like semi-live, like our weekly shows.
Yeah.
I don't know a damn thing about editing, so
You're just the pretty face.
I can't. No.
You're just a nice beard.
yeah. Yeah.
He's our Ross Bigger,
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. But
So you got there's structure to it because I gotta like looking at your guys' videos. I'm like, man, I wouldn't know where to start. Like even chopping into some of this stuff.
yeah.
It gets more and more daunting every year because we get all the footage from everyone on the crew, and it seems like every year the amount of footage just is doubling every year.
All right.
Are people
And
just
just trying to
recording more, or is it?
Yeah. Well, and we got more. I mean, we got more producers. We're going on more hunts. And with doing like our semi-live content now, where we're putting out one show every week. I mean, it's just you're hitting the record button more and more and more.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot more stories to be told. And
Right.
when you put it all together at the end of the year, you look at it and you're just like, how in the hell am I gonna? I have 8 months to put all this together for the next season, and then you got to do it all over again.
So this never ends.
It never ends. It used to be, your traditional outdoor television was 13 episodes, and you had some downtime in between that. And now between putting 52 semi-live shows out, we're doing this year is going to be 20 original episodes, and we got some, bonus content. We haven't really talked about what it's going to be yet, but since it's going to be our 10th season, we're doing some special content.
Cool.
For the launch, kind of getting people pumped up for season 10. And then this last year, we actually started doing in the field live hunts.
Damn.
Which we did 6 episodes of that. And we're going to hopefully, that's something we're looking to expand on in the future.
So you guys are busy.
I have a whole lot of questions. So I want to get into the structure of the Breaking Point here. But so first, it sounds like you're like, man, we're busy. It'd be cool if we were too busy.
Yeah, if we were more busy.
If we were more busy, yeah. But
Yeah.
how many guys make up your guys' entire team?
I think it's right around 14, 15 guys right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we got, like I said,
big
Mike
crew.
and myself, and then Aaron are full time. Everyone else is more or less, hunting on the weekends and using their vacation during the rut and stuff like that.
yeah, it's very working
Still,
class.
15 guys. That's a lot of footage coming in at one time,
yeah.
especially during hunting season.
So saying that, I'm talking like people listening have never watched a show because I feel like that'll help get people to click on it.
Yep.
What can someone expect? Like now knowing your guys' workload and the size of your crew, what can someone expect? Like the structure of an episode. If the team is there's 14 people, are you seeing all 14 people in one episode, or what's the normal structure?
If you're looking at just our like our breaking point season breakdown, typically the structure would be that particular episode is based on one person's season or hunting trip they went on, something like that.
I like that. Yeah. So like the 55 days I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Like that. I like that structure a lot. Mm-hmm. I think it's engaging.
Yeah. That one was probably one of my most challenging but funnest episodes I've ever worked on. I mean, I spent close to 3 or 4 weeks just editing that one show. Because it was like Brennen and Aaron's grind from the first day of North Dakota all the way till he killed on November 13th. Mm-hmm. And I could have just easily showed his Iowa season where he put in the work and filled his tag, but
Yeah.
there was so much stress on their end leading up to that. And I mean, it's kind of seems silly to say, when we do this for a living, there is obviously some stress when you're producing a show to it.
Yeah,
and when you go to the, 50 some days in the field and you still haven't even had an opportunity at a deer, it really can take a mental toll on you. Plus, there was Brennen had a lot of stuff going on that year with his father. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, he can tell the whole story, obviously, for that. But,
yeah.
I mean, I wanted to give the story justice.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. I like it, though. It wouldn't have been, I think, as engaging if it would have just been
The kill.
the blip. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
the blip. That's a bad way to probably describe it. But I like that you showed more than what you could have shown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's still engaging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think it makes people appreciate the people that stick around and watch the entire episode to the end. Makes them appreciate the grind.
Yeah, and you guys are exceptionally good on camera. There's a lot of hunting shows, just like there's a lot of hunting podcasts. It's like, man, if your whole deal is being good on camera or being good on a mic, and you're not either one of those, that's a problem.
we just try to be real. We're not trying to do anything.
Sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
Well, you're comfortable, right? Like you're comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, no matter how much, they just can't get over it. Mm-hmm. And I would
some
be
people that are like super cool in person, but you put a camera in front of their face and they just
dude. I'm
they
weird.
freeze.
Our own cameras, I don't care, but someone else puts a camera in my face, I'm like,
I get a little weird.
what's this thing over here? But like, and I don't know.
Well, between me and him, I mean, we've been filming hunts before we even met each other. I mean, I was filming hunts when I was 12 years old. Mm-hmm. Same with Brennen.
I started around 14. I begged my parents for a camcorder, and they finally bought me this cheap camcorder that recorded on like mini discs at the time.
Oh, it was the discs.
Yeah, the discs, and
Came from money.
yep, just fell in love with it,
Yeah.
and been carrying a camera around ever since.
That's awesome.
I still got my original. Well, we both bought the same camera when we met in college, and it's just a giant Sony camera. Like I think we
It's a
spent
big
like
son of a bitch.
14.
Like the high 8 tapes, or was it like the?
It was the
Yeah.
mini DV tapes. It was like the HD 1000U.
Yeah.
We thought we were so cool because this some bitch was like,
Because it looked
was like
like
throwing
it,
a boombox.
It looked
on
like a
your shoulder.
like legit production camera.
Yeah.
But it was shit.
It was shit.
but it looked cool. So I mean, I still have it on like up on display. Like I haven't
That's cool.
that's the one camera I haven't got rid of. I probably never will just because I can look at it like by my desk, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like looking back and remembering where you came from type of thing.
That's cool. Yeah, you don't ever get rid of that thing. You
You need
need
to break it out and film a season with it.
It's funny. It's funny looking back at like harvest photos from back then because we took so much pride in that big ass camera. Like every time we'd take a harvest photo, it'd be the guy that killed whatever we were hunting, and then we would be
Yeah.
there with the big camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Be fucking throw your
Well,
back
like,
out, just put it on your shoulder.
I think that's cool because it dates you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it shows like you guys aren't just an Instagram page that was like, oh yeah, we're looking for sponsors. You know what I mean? Like you guys have you truly live it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were the guys back in college that took those to like the Deer and Turkey Expo and walked through it.
Yeah.
just because we wanted to
Look at us.
yeah
Yeah.
like we're going places hopefully.
See, that's awesome, dude.
Trying to meet people, and
Yeah.
I mean it didn't work then.
No, I love it. I think it's cool, but it's like I think you guys, I'm assuming, grew up at. Well, for me, it was the Illinois Deer Classic, right? Like that was my tradition.
Yeah.
Every February, or whatever it was. But I'm sure you guys did the same thing. Like for you, it would have been the Wisconsin Classic.
Yeah, back when it was still in Madison, the Deer and Turkey Expo.
Yeah.
Kind of funny story with that, but you guys are good buddies with Chancey Walters.
You hung out with him all weekend at Ohio.
Well, that's how we actually met him. Like the first year we were walking around with the show with those cameras, and he was selling his turkey feather art, and he was selling actually at the time strutter decoys that he would feather up.
Yeah.
And that's where we originally met him. That was I think like 2008.
Probably.
Wow.
Like that.
That's. I mean, I was in high school. I graduated in 09.
I graduated in 08.
But you know, it's like that's some time away now at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting old, boys.
Yeah, we are.
Isn't it funny? Like, I feel like the last, and I'm sure you guys feel this way. Like, you see, like it's not really the next generation. We're not that much older, but like 10 to 15 year gap above like the newer kids that are now getting into it. And it's like, fuck, dude.
We're getting old.
Like,
Let's just say it. We're getting old.
We've been doing the podcast for 8 years, but you guys, 10 years, 10 seasons or whatever, roughly, you know, I'm sure a little, well, I mean, been filming longer, but it's like, fuck. It's like we're kind of old now.
Yep.
We are.
And you see some of the kids coming up, and they got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of very talented individuals that can podcast or edit, and it's crazy. I mean,
So you guys look for interns in that, I'm sure.
actually, yeah, this year we opened up our first ever internship application process. So currently we're actually in the process of closing on a house that we're going to be, housing our interns, and that'll be where basically our home base for our production moving forward.
Awesome.
And yeah, so we are right now we're actually kind of in the interview process. Our application process actually closed here a week ago. But we're hoping to kind of nail down who we have selected here pretty
You
soon.
picking one guy, two guys?
I think we're going to pick 2 this year. We're going to start with 2.
See how it goes.
Yeah, see how it goes and go from there. I mean, we have enough space, I feel like, at the house that we could expand it if we wanted to, but I didn't want to put too much on mine and Aaron's plate this year with coaching guys up. And it's going to be a kind of a learning curve,
Yeah.
the first time. We're going to...
Talking kids like straight out of high school or college, pretty much, that are going to be interning.
Yeah, mostly college. That's kind of the age range we're looking for.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I kind of wanted to actually, good buddy of mine, Josh Sparks, is one of the guys that actually,
Yeah. Josh is a man.
he kind of put the idea in my head and encouraged me to do it. And one of the big reasons I went along with it and, we decided we wanted to move forward with it is I felt like I was at a stage in my career where I wanted to try and give something back to people and give opportunities that we necessarily didn't have when we were trying to get in the hunting industry.
Yeah.
I mean, back when we started our filming adventures and stuff like that, really other than Midwest Whitetail, there wasn't really anyone doing internship opportunities
Right.
for videography, photography, things like that. So we're just trying to hopefully build off of that and try and open doors up for motivated kids that want to do the same thing.
Did you get a lot of applications for it?
We got a decent amount this year, actually more than I was expecting.
Really?
I didn't really know what we were going to get this year, but we got some promising guys.
Man, if I would have known about that when I was like coming into school, or just outside of high school.
for sure.
Because I didn't know about anything like that,
Yeah.
but I would have jumped at it. I just wonder, it's like, if it's the same. You know what I mean? If there's like kids out there with the same passion or.
I thought you were going to say if you knew you would have applied.
Like
For
this
years.
year. This year.
Like, fuck, I need out of this.
Damn.
It's like, I would have applied for that shit. Come live in your house.
Kurt just quits the podcast.
I'm like, hey,
Become
guys.
an intern.
No, I just ghost you guys. And then you just see me over here with these boys. Like, yo,
There'd be enough room for the wife and kids.
dude, I'm in. Let's do this.
Free living.
You out?
Dude, you gonna feed me?
Moving to
With my
Iowa.
kids.
Yep, we got a garden there.
Dude, I have maters growing in the back.
Shit, fuck.
We'll be hungry in the winter. We'll pull it off. I apply.
Sell some pizzas.
Josh is the shit going back to that though. He's been
Yeah.
trying to talk us into doing like an internship like that, just to do some like.
He's a good dude. Like
I love that guy.
Cool story actually how I met him. This last spring I was going out to scout a piece of public, and it was for turkey season, like almost a year to the date. I was going out there to actually take that back. I wasn't going out there to scout it. I was going to sight my shotgun in that night. It was the day before season. Hadn't shot my shotgun yet, so I'm like, better get this.
Better get on that. Yeah.
So I was getting ready to go shoot, and all of a sudden, this vehicle pulls in. I'm like, what the hell is this? And guy walks out and he's got a Jury Outdoors hat on.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking to him. He's like, hi, my name's Josh Sparks. I was just going to go check out this piece of public for turkeys. I'm like, you're Josh from Jury Outdoors? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I talked to him for maybe 15, 20 minutes there. And
Yeah.
he sat around while I sighted in my gun. And he's like, well, I'm going to be just heading back here if you want to come along with. So I walked for like 2 hours back in the woods with him and bullshit. And that's how I got to know him.
No kidding.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Just
He's-
random public piece in Iowa.
He's such a good dude.
I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Yeah.
He's so helpful. I mean, gee, he's kind of like, he's my, like, hey, Josh, I don't know how to do anything with cameras. Can you help me? He's that phone call for me, you know? He's one of the best in the biz.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Very good guy.
Just a good friend.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, if they think jury guys don't go on public, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get all that shade. I'm sure fucking everybody does. But all right, back to your episodes.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode? Like if someone has never watched your show, where are you sending them?
Pick
leave-
your,
I'll leave that.
top 3.
Oh man,
Top 3 is a better way to
there's
structure.
so many of them.
Like if you were like
10 seasons, that's a lot.
Yeah, you gotta. Okay, what about in the last 3 years then?
I mean, one that ranks pretty high for me is a turkey episode Mike did 2 years ago. Was it last spring?
That was last spring.
Released it last spring. The hunt happened 2 springs ago. It was my dad's final. It's called The Last Hunt, and it was right after he got back from Mexico. He went down there for cancer treatment, and it was the last turkey he ever killed before he passed.
Oh man,
It was the last hunt you two ever been on, and that was
Don't put it on the TV because I'll start crying. Like
no,
a little
I won't.
bitch.
I won't.
it was. I mean,
I'll cry with you.
Yeah, don't
I
do
was
that.
I was along with our good buddy Mark, who we grew up turkey hunting with. He was with. It was pretty special, not only because it was your dad's last hunt, but like Mark was a good friend of ours growing up in college, and he was one of the guys we kind of started filming with.
Right.
So to have him along with,
Right.
he was good friends with Brennan's dad too. So it was just Brennan's dad came back from Mexico, and he said he only had like maybe a day to hunt, and we're like, we had this plan for weeks ahead that he was going to come back and we are going to do this hunt. So when he said I think originally it was we were gonna hunt for a few days, and he's like, well, I only really want to hunt for a day. So it kind of put a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah, yeah.
We had some blinds out just before that in the morning, and we got set up, and it was probably one of the most textbook hunts I've ever been on. Like, definitely there was something going on upstairs that day, because the birds were just going nuts. Like, this bird come in, just beat the crap out of decoys. Like, it was just the most picture perfect turkey hunt you could ever imagine. And his
Yeah.
dad just torched it at like 10 yards.
No kidding.
And most turkey hunts, like, guy shoots a bird, you want to get out and like celebrate in that. It's the only turkey hunt I've ever been on where we just all sat in the blind and just soaked it in. Because
It's one of the moments.
it was just a special moment. And I bet you we sat in that blind for half hour to 45 minutes before we even went out and looked at the bird.
Really?
We sat and drank coffee and laughed, and joked around, and there was more birds out in the field, and we just sat there. None of us had intentions of shooting another bird. It was just, we wanted to just enjoy.
Living in the moment.
Yeah. Like, we didn't want that moment to end.
Yeah.
Right.
It was, I've never been on a hunt like that. Like, I've been on a lot of special hunts,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you can attest to it. Like,
Yeah,
it was
different.
one of the craziest feelings I've ever had in the woods.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's cool, like you said, like the feeling of everything was just working out right was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm tearing
Well,
up because you talking about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. I get teared up just in general, because we went through not exactly similar situations, losing our dads within a year of each other, probably,
Yeah, it was
right?
close, yeah.
Like fairly close. So yeah, dude. I mean, that fucks with a guy.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like I'm good. Like I can talk about it.
Yeah.
But then I really get into it, or like if you and I start talking about it, I'm over. Like it's waterworks, man. Like
Yep.
it's just it's good to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because like what we talked about too is like especially hunting families are closer. I think maybe, any activity you do with your father or like common interest or parents or brothers or cousins or friends or whatever, you're always a little closer, I think. But like we talked a little before the podcast when we were sitting in our green room, the bar, aka the bar, like we're all at that age now where everyone we grew up with hunting and whatever is everyone's getting old and shit happens like this. So it's like, I think it's kind of good to honestly talk about shit we're going through because it might help somebody who's listening that just went through a similar situation or knows they're about to go through a similar situation. So I definitely don't think we should steer away from it. It just sucks to talk about it sometimes for our sake because it's like waterworks and you don't want to be the guy that's getting emotional on the podcast again. Here it is, So, but definitely if we want to talk about it, of course, by all means, I'm about it because I think it does help people when it gets brought up. But I know what you're saying, like special moments like that, like there's something to it. It's like it was meant to be. Because man, I got stories, up when my dad passed of my hunting season after that I felt like you never know when the last hunt's going to be in general. But,
Right.
Yeah. So actually this upcoming spring would be me and my dad are turkey hunting is our thing. Like I started turkey hunting with him. I was probably 7 years old back in like 1996-ish. Started turkey hunting in Wisconsin, and we have hunted like every opening day of turkey season together probably for the last 27 years.
That's awesome.
Damn.
And so this year he's been having some hip issues, and like he's 72 now, so he's getting up there in age. He doesn't get around as good as he used to. He used to put me and him to shame walking in the woods.
Right.
But I look at that and I'm just like trying to just soak up those moments so much more. And like this year, actually last week I had the conversation with him, and he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it out opening day. I'm like, no, we're getting you out.
Yeah, you're going.
You're going.
Yeah.
We're getting you out somehow. Like if we have to take a UTV out to get you to the blind, like
If we got to rent a helicopter, we're
Dropping your ass.
Yeah, you're going.
yeah,
You're going.
because I just
Hop in the deer cart.
I want to soak those up as much as you can because you don't know when the last one's going to be. So
Yeah, you never do. And I don't know, man. It's the beautiful thing about it while you're in it. But it's like sometimes you don't realize significance of situations until it's gone. And it's fucked. But life's not fair. But I don't know, man. I think in those situations, like if you're dealt with a death, like I talked about this, we did a podcast for Deercast with Tim Chelsvik. His dad passed away fairly young as well. And it could have pulled me into a dark hole or easily. Like I was one click off from going in a dark hole and letting it ruin me. But I think I was just fortunate enough or level-headed enough for the situation to click it in to motivate me. And I don't know if you feel that way with the death of your father.
Yeah, I do. I feel like, having the memories that I shared with my dad over the years has made me stronger, like looking back on that.
I'm right there with you, dude. That's exactly what got me through it.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have had him, I think dark hole is where I'm at. We don't got to get into this. I know, like we're like pulling this down a little bit, but
Hey, if you guys want to get into it, get into it.
I think it's important to talk about. Do you feel?
absolutely, because I feel like I feel like it's something that's not really talked about much in the
I don't think it is.
hunting industry. I mean, everyone tries to try and act tough, being hunters.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's those special deer camps and moments with friends and family. I mean,
For sure.
you got to look at it and appreciate it because someday it's going to be gone.
Yep.
Especially with your guys' situation with your old mans. I mean, that's the reason why we're sitting in this room right now. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
It is, yeah.
That's the reason why we're here is because they got us into hunting. And
Yep.
For sure.
we wouldn't have those moments if they weren't part of our lives to get us into that situation.
Yeah. Well, what you just said, man, that's the only thing that kept me from going dark,
Yeah.
I think. But, too, I have young kids. It's like it's not fair to them for me to go dark on them. So that there's more, but that's the main mentally, like step one mentally. That's what kept me out of it, I think,
I just remember watching my dad lose his dad, and he never skipped a beat. Like he stayed strong for the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like he would almost be embarrassed if like I would have went a dark hole. Like he would have wanted me to keep
on keeping on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like it would have
Yeah,
been more.
for
Of,
sure.
This is what my dad would have told me. Is like, I'm good, Kurt. Don't worry about me. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
dude, my dad was like the least selfish person you'd ever met. So I kind of get what you're saying.
The last time I seen my dad was 6 days before he passed, and it was must have been right around October 25th. And the last thing my dad said to me was he knew he was dying, and he said, "Don't sit here with me. There's nothing you can do." He goes, "Get back in the woods and go kill a big buck."
That's awesome.
Fuck.
Sorry, Doug, you want to grab me a beer?
Yeah.
Hell, grab me one too.
It pulls me deep, dude. Because
We'll all drink to that.
yeah, man. Cheers to your old man for sure. So it's dude. That my situation's like fairly similar. Cheers, boys. Yeah, my dad said, "Take care of your family. Don't worry about me." My dad didn't know. My dad didn't know he was dying. I mean, he did, I think, but I didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And then that night, stroke, gone. My dad was in the ICU. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? It just was fucked up, the whole thing. But you know, it's never good. But hey, you know, it's part of life. It's fucked a little bit, but honestly, I feel like my dad's I always feel like anytime I go home, my dad's with me. So like I find like comfort in it. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
especially like that first season, dude. Like, you know, you killed that buck shortly after your dad passed. It's like, you think that he didn't have something to do with it?
I had a lot of weird shit happen with birds, whether people want to believe it was my dad or whatnot. I had a lot of weird shit happen last fall. Like he was there every single hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, dude, it's cool. It's cool, like, when you think about it, because it's like, I never really, not that I'm not a believer in God, but I always had my, I think, legitimate question of, like, I don't know, type of thing, you know? But I feel like there's, like, things that have happened, whether it's, like, spiritually or, I don't know, but it's like, dude, without a doubt, you know what I mean? Like, my mule deer hunt that I killed a muley on, it was on my dad's birthday. And like the pack out and shit, and just like the series of events that happened, it was weird. And then come to find out, Devin and my buddy that stayed with us on the mountain the night before had never met my dad, had like this lucid type dream that he was up on the canyon, and where I killed my buck, he saw my dad walking in the basin. And he didn't tell me that until like a few days later. And I'm like, and he'd never met my dad.
That's wild.
You know?
I got chills there.
Yeah. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
what?
It's nuts.
And we went in, killed that buck. It hailed on us, then just stopped, and then was just like starry sky. Like, I'm talking 5 minutes. It's almost like my dad was fucking with us, like as a joke. And then I looked at my phone, and we didn't have service out there. But so I killed the buck on September 2nd. But when all that happened, it was just after midnight on the 3rd, my dad's birthday. So it was like this weird thing, you know? It's like, all right, yeah, your boy's up there fucking with us.
He ain't gonna make it easy for you. Now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're going to go back up this mountain, house some hail, slip a
some
little.
hail.
Happy
Here
birthday
you
to me. You know, it just makes you wonder, man.
Yeah. I mean, you had an experience when you killed your buck in Iowa this year, like you were saying with birds. And then like when I shot my muzzleloader buck, we were sitting in the tree. And so my mom passed away when I was 9 years old. And I've always had things with eagles. Whenever I've been in the woods or anything in life that is crazy going on in my life, there's always eagles somewhere.
Really?
And
So weird.
we were sitting in the tree that night, and it was like the last 20 minutes of daylight, and all of a sudden the eagle flew over. And he goes to me, he's like, some crazy shit's gonna happen because there's been a lot going on with birds this year. And it wasn't 10 minutes later I shot my buck.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, every deer I killed this year, I think I shot 4 bucks maybe or something like that. And there was something with birds every single hunt. Like crazy shit. We got it all on film too.
Give me an example.
So the deer I shot in Iowa this year, biggest deer I've ever killed in my life. It was October 16th. It was like 25-mile-an-hour winds out of the northwest. I think you can all attest to when it's windy and nasty out, you don't see birds.
No.
You don't see anything moving, typically. we had this bird about 10 minutes before I shot this deer. This bird come flying in, and he landed like me to Eric away and sat on that limb for like 10 minutes. And I like looked up at JP. He was filming me. I'm like, you seeing this shit? And he like spun around. He started filming it. This bird just, it was the weirdest thing. Like you ain't seeing wildlife anywhere. All of a sudden this bird lands there and sits there. Like I could have like went like this and the bird wouldn't have flown. And
No kidding.
It sat there right up until when I shot the deer. Like just weird shit like that. And then I shot my buck in Illinois, and we had 2 cardinals do the same thing. They landed in the tree right next to us and sat there like minutes before I shot my deer. And then we were in Kansas, and we had a bald eagle hovering over as the buck I shot came across the field.
Wow.
Really?
Crazy shit.
The bird ear.
Yeah, and then his deer, and yeah, it was just, I don't know. There's something about birds.
That is cool.
Call it what you want, but
Dude,
It's not the 10th ear, it's the bird ear, I think.
I believe it, dude. Like I don't doubt that for a second. It's just you feel things, man.
yeah.
It's hard to explain. But I guess going back to that, that's like some of the stuff you can see in your guys' show. Like if you were to pick, some of those emotional type shows. But I don't know, dude. That's
It's
heavy.
It's cool to talk about it here, though, because I mean, it's stuff you don't you see it in the show, but you don't know.
You don't know
the
the
significance
backstory.
behind it.
Right.
So
See, that is cool, man. That's, I don't know. That's a tearjerker, man.
Yeah.
I could have gone deep there and turned into a
Yeah.
waterworks. I was trying not to, man. That's just the thing is like, I see somebody else because I went through it, and I'm like, oh, your boy can't hold it back, but.
I still have my old man, and I was starting to tear up there for a second.
Well,
Same.
I mean, you think about it, right? You
Oh, yeah.
you-
and it takes you back to all the memories you have,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just crazy. You got to be thankful for the times you had, man.
For sure.
Especially all the hunting memories. That's even bigger.
Yep.
And that's the stuff, I want to do for my kids. It's like whether they're into hunting or not, which they will be into hunting, whether they like it or not.
Well, that's like my old man. He didn't hunt. He hasn't hunted since I was, 16.
Your dad just hates spending time with you, huh?
I guess. He just hates me.
I'm kidding.
But then he got back into it this year because he retired. And he's like, got bored, I'm like, well,
Gun hunting?
yeah, gun hunting. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got a blind. He's like, I hate the cold. I'm like, well, I get it. You spent 40 years working outside.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got a blind with a heater in it. Like, grab a gun. Let's go.
See, but then when Hudson gets a little older, you guys can have like the generational thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely get your dad hunting before Hudson's of age to go. But
Oh, yeah. He's back into it now. They're all full force.
that's cool. I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Your old man hasn't really hunted, has he?
No, he's been busy farming. And,
He killed like a 200 incher in 1972, and then he just hung it up.
I think it was 82 or 83 killed 200 inch.
I think I'd do the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's me just hoping your dad listens and hears that little bit.
He's just like, good luck beating me.
Yeah, have at it.
Even if you beat him,
Pussy.
he still won't give you a hug.
Yeah, when's the last time your dad hugged you, Doug?
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Or next question.
We talk about something else.
Yeah.
Wait, what day were you born?
Me?
Yeah.
91,
What day?
June 11th.
That's the last time your dad hugged you.
Oh, damn. I was like, where are you going with that?
He's like, I ain't touching it.
I'm good.
Yeah, we all have these relationships with our dads.
Right.
And Doug's like, damn, that must be nice.
It's not true, though. Like,
I know it's not true, but it's funny to joke
But it's
about.
funny.
yeah.
Poor
I get
Doug,
it, I
man.
get it.
That's why you have so much relationship issues, huh? You have daddy issues. You guys should do an episode on Doug's daddy issues.
We need to have Doug's dad in.
That's got to happen.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Uh-huh.
When we pulled up here, there was actually a lady parked outside, and we thought it was Doug's mom. Maybe dropped him off.
You pick me up later.
I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
I get permission to come here.
Okay, so going back, that was one of the episodes someone should watch. We're going back however long when we started.
Oh
that
yeah, we were
conversation.
talking about episodes.
I mean, some of my other favorite hunts over the years have been in North Dakota. We've been going up there for a decade now, and we've had a lot of good hunts up there. It's hard to pick one out specifically, but we always have a good time up there because we kind of have that camp camaraderie feel. We now have our own deer camp up there, which is kick-ass. So we always have a good time up there, drinking beer, eating frozen pizzas, and hunting deer.
Sounds like my type of party.
That's a cool story. I mean, I think you should kind of like not to dive off in another story, but
well, hey, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, it's our show.
I mean, you told us the story before we started the podcast, but I think you should retell it. That's a pretty cool story.
So
Tell it like we haven't heard it before.
Yeah, Mike and I started going up there. Must have been around 2012 ish.
Yeah, it was December 2012.
Yeah, we were up there in 2012, and I had went up to North Dakota one other time with another guy, and we hunted in another area, probably 45 minutes to an hour away from where Mike and I kind of picked a spot on the map. And this was before Onyx. This was back when you were pretty much
Maps.
printing up. Yeah, I mean, you were
MapQuest?
if you didn't know how to read a plat book, you weren't hunting public land. Or knocking on doors or any of that. And him and I were kind of struggling to get on deer. We had landed permission on a couple pieces, and we were hunting some public land. And we went in a gas station in one of these small towns up there. For anyone that's been in North Dakota, that's all it is small towns scattered throughout the state. Went into the gas station, and we actually walked in there. We were wearing, I think, snow camo. We were late season deer hunting. And we walked in there, and there were like 6 or 7 like old boys, like farmers, sitting down drinking coffee. And we went in, got our coffee, and we actually walked out of there. And we got back out in the vehicle, and we're like, "What are we doing? Like, one of those guys knows something.
For sure.
Let's go back down. Let's go back in there and just sit down and mind our own business and see what happens."
And I think everyone could picture that, just the small town gas station.
Oh yeah, they all turn around and like look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you're not from there.
Yeah,
For
sure.
Everyone looks at you like you're an out of towner, just
Yeah.
like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
So we go back in there and we sit down and we're just sitting there minding our own business, drinking our coffee. All of a sudden, guy goes, "You guys hunting coyotes?" And we're like, "No, we're hunting deer." And it's ass cold. It's 20, 30 below zero. And he's like, "Hunting deer? Well, I got deer on my place if you want to come hunt them." And we're like, "Well, where's your place?"
Bingo.
So anyway, he gets out a napkin, and this is, I mean, at that time, probably had flip phones.
Yeah,
But,
it was
I mean, if we
pre
even
Onyx,
had-
pre Google Maps.
Oh, yeah. You're just getting the smartphone era.
Yeah, I mean, I probably had like a Crazer or something.
A Nextel.
Yeah, with something with snake on it, And anyway, he gets out a napkin and he's like, "Go 6 miles this way, 6 miles this way, 1.5 miles back, half-mile north, green mailbox." And I'm like still trying to digest what he just wrote on this napkin, and he gets up and he leaves. I looked at Mike, I said, "We ain't finding that guy."
No.
But we're
So
gonna
whatever,
try.
we finished our coffee, whatever, and we got in the vehicle, and sure as shit, we went 6 miles, 6 miles, 1.5 miles, half-mile, green mailbox, and we're like, "Oh my God."
We found it.
Knocked on the door, he's like, "You found me." And we're like, "Yeah, we did." And so he started showing us on the plat map, "Oh yeah, I own this section here and this section here." And we started hunting there, and we hunted there for, well, up until 2017. And at that point, we had we were broke. We were literally spending everything we had just to get to states like North Dakota and hunt. And we were sleeping in our cars. We were pitching tents when it was warm early in the season.
You were talking about the working class stuff before.
Yeah.
Before we were full time.
Yeah.
Brennan slept on the floor of a hotel once.
Yeah, there's this one hotel in a nearby town. This is a whole nother story. But it was one of those nights, we'd been, crammed in a car. And anyone that watches our show know that for the longest time, I just got a truck finally, but I still have a good gas-getting car that I drive around a lot. And I spent a lot of nights in North Dakota sleeping in my car, jammed in there, sore as fuck. And so that's kind of how we started hunting North Dakota. And I started talking to these landowners, after we had become friends with them now for a few years. I'm like, we're, trying to maybe build like a hunting camp somewhere where we can save money on hotels or whatever and have a warm place to stay.
Yeah.
And they let us build a shack on wheels right in their farmstead. And we're tapped into their power, and they treat us like we're their kids. Like
No shit.
It is absolutely amazing.
Describe your hunting shack.
So our hunting shack, Dylan and Ryan, they used to have a lease in Wisconsin, and the lease ended up getting sold. Well, they had a camper that was parked at the lease, and they called it the Dinky. That was the name of their deer camp. And when the lease got sold, they had to get that camper out of there. And the camper was a piece of shit by this time. And the frame was good on it. They knocked the camper right off of the frame, and we pre-built what we called Dinkota, which is our deer shack in North Dakota, which kept the Dinky name in there, and then the North Dakota. So Dinkota. And we pretty much built a shack on wheels. It's a 20 by 10 shack on wheels, and we can comfortably sleep 6 people if you count the pull-out couch in there.
Badass.
That's so awesome, man.
And it's right smack dab in the heart of where we hunt in North Dakota.
So you just have it parked there on the old rancher's farm.
Yep. Like any farm in North Dakota, they got, their driveway in, and they got a bunch of grain bins set up, around the outbuildings, and we're right there.
Just think if you guys walked out with your coffees, if you didn't go back in, you might not have that.
Yeah, we wouldn't have. No doubt.
That's so awesome.
So how long has that been, the Dinkota camp been?
We built that in the summer of 2017.
Damn.
Wow.
Yep.
Still going strong.
Yep. Still going
How many
strong.
frozen pizzas?
We keep a tally on the wall because we were joking about this earlier, but all we have there is a grill and a pizza oven. So we tally the pizzas that we eat, and we eat a lot of Jack's pizzas. I think just at that camp alone, we've eaten 200, and I want to say ballpark 280 frozen pizzas since 2017.
Sounds like
and
a
we're
good
only
hunt
there
camp.
like 2
Shout
weeks
out
a year.
Jack's Pizza.
You guys need a sponsorship from them fuckers.
We've been trying.
Dude, you need to.
We've been trying.
Send us 290 something will be good for the next 5 years. That's awesome.
That is so cool.
It's cool because we got some awesome traditions out there now too. Like whenever someone kills a buck at camp, we hang it up on the gambrel, and then we have this big board that says it's a wooden board, has Dinkota carved in it, and you take the broadhead that you shot the deer with, hammer it in the wall, and then what else we got? We have a vortex light that is right above our TV. Turn that light on,
Call it the buck light.
the buck light. So it's kind of like what you guys have
When
with
we
your,
turn it red.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then what else we got? Oh, we have a shot or a bottle of booze that always sits on this one shelf. We call it the poop bottle.
The poop bottle?
Yeah.
Because it's the name of the game is buy the nastiest, shittiest alcohol. So we always call it the poop.
Okay.
I remember you guys had a bottle of that moonshine I guys
Yeah.
gave you guys. You
Yeah.
guys had it there forever.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
took a while to drink that.
Yeah.
Okay, the poop bottle.
So then, whoever shoots a buck has to take a drink out of the poop bottle along with everyone else in camp.
Okay.
And then you sign the bottle. When the bottle's cashed, whoever shot the buck that night has to buy a new bottle, and they get to pick whatever
that's
what
fun.
brand.
That's awesome.
So we have like a shelf that has, I don't know, it's probably got 8 or 10 bottles.
Yeah.
We go through about a bottle a season.
That's pretty damn good work right there.
But we just
That's fun.
The traditions and stuff you got there.
What's the-
pretty sweet.
You got to do that stuff.
Yeah, what's the worst bottle so far?
Probably something you bought. Probably
I haven't bought one yet.
there was
Hawkeye
a bottle
vodka.
of
I was going to say, that's the next
Take some
bottle.
Hawkeye there.
there was a bottle of like E&J's that was gross.
Irk Jerk, man. That's like the cheapest
Yeah,
brandy.
It
on
was gross.
never mind. I was going to say something about
The last couple have been good. JP
I just
thought
caught
he was-
myself.
JP bought a good bottle of something, and we finished that on one kill. And that's the point of the poop.
That's too
is-
good, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't buy a good bottle on that.
You don't
shit.
want it too good.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm buying one, it's gonna be one that people probably don't enjoy as much.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, man.
Hawkeye.
It's got to be
Hawkeye.
the next bottle.
Ugh.
Because that clear bottle, are they always in a clear
You gotta,
bottle?
you gotta pull
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You gotta
That's-
pull it straight though.
That Hawkeye label hasn't changed in fucking 20 years.
Since
that
you were
I've
a
seen it.
freshman,
Why
Yeah.
would you change it?
it's got everything it needs. It's got all the essentials. That's fun, man. Like, it makes you wonder if, I mean, of course we're doing it. Like, we grew up in a generation where hunting traditions are still alive, but is that still getting carried on? It has to be, right? If we're doing it, maybe not. I don't know.
You guys are starting that hunt camp tradition now. Like, that's what I had growing up. You know, we had a hunt camp and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we had back in Wisconsin, your deer hunting tradition was huge. It's changed a lot since then, so it's pretty cool to go and do it in North Dakota or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like you guys have obviously seen it. Hunting's evolved,
Yeah.
with the big buck craze.
Do you like the state of hunting right now?
I don't know. There's certain things I miss about it.
Yeah.
Like growing up, Wisconsin in particular, like the fact that you can register your deer online anymore. or, you know, it used to be back in the day, like opening day of gun season, the thing to do was to go to the bar after dark and see what everybody shot. But now nobody has to take their deer to the bar to register them. So nobody goes. I mean, some people still go to the bar.
Yeah.
But traditions like that are what I miss.
Yeah.
Like,
Then that was the cool thing about shooting a buck is like, especially during gun season in Wisconsin, you go to the bar, and if you shot something decent, the whole bar cleared out to
Just
come
come
check
look
it
at
out.
Yeah.
And hear the story, and that stuff. And
Right.
Wait, you could check your deer in at the bar?
you had to.
yeah, you had to.
Most of the registration stations in Wisconsin were at bars.
Oh, that's so
Hey,
awesome.
That's so
listen,
badass.
not
It is-
surprised.
Not surprised. It's Wisconsin.
That's so Wisconsin.
but that's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then like where I grew up, my mom's side of the family had a huge hunting camp. So I would go there every single year, and I mean there'd be 20, 30 people. They'd have a big party, and opening weekend was just a huge shindig. Like it was just a giant deer camp.
Yeah.
I mean, and even that is fizzled out, now.
So do you think, we're talking hunting in general, is the culture, there's still a lot of people in the culture, but is it less traditional? Is it less traditional of a culture and more of a trend culture now? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think because of some of the standards on the quality of deer that have to be shot nowadays, traditions have taken a wayside.
Yeah, people would rather go on their own.
Yeah,
Chase the.
there's more of an
buck.
individual accolade to deer hunting nowadays than what it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be a group effort. Like I mean, when we grew
Like
up,
people are less happy for the other guy when he kills a big
when
buck.
we grew up deer hunting, I mean, Wisconsin is still a party hunting state when it comes to gun season. Mm-hmm. People shot each other's bucks, tagged each other's bucks. It just didn't really matter who shot what.
Right.
And now it's such an individual sport that I think the tradition took a wayside.
Yeah, I can see that.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've said this a handful of times. Big bucks bring out the worst in people.
Oh, absolutely.
It's sad. It is sad. Do you think hunting culture trends have shifted? Is it social media? Is that the devil?
Social media definitely doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
No.
But we all have them.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird thing.
We're in the industry where we have to have them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've often said if we didn't have a show, I wouldn't even have a social media.
I
account.
definitely wouldn't.
Agreed.
I always say if we didn't have the podcast and marketplace, I wouldn't have Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doug's just got it for the bitches.
Yeah, you need it.
For the hose.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, you need it.
You got to put yourself out there,
How else are you going to sell mustache wax?
Yeah, right?
That's right, dude. The hustle's real. Your boys out here.
We sold 4 kids.
Grind it. No, we sold more than that. We're doing
You
pretty well.
didn't sell a lot in Ohio. Ohio's a state of mustaches. And that's just a fact.
We'll see. Wisconsin might be pretty good.
Probably.
Doug's making a commission on that. Hey, you get $3.
Yeah.
For every 10 cans.
We thought we'd be rich.
Wrong.
When we get guys in the booth this week and we're going to pay them to go or just buy more
sympathy.
mustache
I
wax
appreciate that.
than any of the other states.
No, we'll just bring
Yeah.
you like 20 cans. You guys sell it. You guys can have a cut of it.
Hey,
Yeah.
since we have to pre-order our beer in Wisconsin, for every can of mustache wax that comes back to the breaking point, we'll have to deliver you guys like 5 beers.
Okay.
All right.
We're
now
gonna,
talking.
yeah, don't tell them that. We're going to run out of beer.
I just want to sell some shit. You're buying the beer.
No, I'm not.
Doug's have to spend his commission on beer to
It just
pay.
evens out. It just comes back.
Yeah, no, just
Nothing.
But no, I do enjoy that talk of like what's changed. How do you guys feel about hunting? And I don't know. I always enjoy a different crew's like take on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
because it's an interesting conversation. There's normally a hot take in it, which is great to listen to.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it is too. Like I know between me and you, like we grew up in that hunting camp style. All your dad's buddies were around. You
Yeah.
know, for most of my dad's buddies, hunting wasn't even a thing. It was more about
Drinking beer.
drinking beer and playing cards. At the end of the night. But
Well, it's camaraderie. That's
It is.
still culture of hunting though.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people, when we grew up with that, kids now don't have that.
Yeah, like Michael said though, like no one even cared like who shot the biggest buck or what you shot.
I don't think there's a
Now
lot of
it's
deer
like-
camps around anymore,
Yeah.
where, like we grew up doing.
Yeah.
And people are doing leases and all that now, and it's
That's the cool thing about where we hunt in North Dakota, though, is we were able to kind of recreate that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hunting in North Dakota is still kind of a little bit of a blast in the past, I feel like, is how stuff set up structurally. So when we have guys in camp, like it's more of a group effort. Like no one gives a shit who shoots the biggest deer
Yeah.
or who sits what stand. Like we're all in it to see somebody succeed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think we're kind of overlooking that for ourselves a little bit. Like that's what this is right now.
true.
I mean, that's kind of why we started this, because I mean, we want to talk about deer hunting all year long, and
What excites me about it too is like, because I had like those hunting camp traditions, you know, like, fuck, I mean, two of my biggest hunting influences growing up were my dad and Jim Burns. They passed away like a year apart from each other from the same shit, ironically, which is crazy. But yeah, I think about like things we did, you know, and that wasn't necessarily like we had set traditions. It was just being there on that week and hanging out and talking about the same shit and watching the same videos and
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But what's exciting, thank you, sir. What's exciting about it is like we have this place for when Hudson's older, Isla Man Clyde are older, all our kids. Like we can start doing it to where, okay, we're going to be old and boring and barely hanging on to the podcast, and we'll still be recording while they're starting fires in the alley, and that'll be the tradition. You know what I mean? Like we'll have our own sets of traditions with what we have here as a hunting camp. You know,
Absolutely.
I hope. Right?
And it'll be cool for the day when they can hop on the mic too.
Yeah, and we can just sit there drunk. You know.
Yeah, they can do all the work.
drive me home. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Passion. They want them to be passionate about it. AKA sober and driving dad home. Yeah, we're fucked up. But I don't know. That's what we do. But I don't know, man. I like that culture. Like, so you guys are thumbs up on like the state of hunting right now. The culture of hunting, I guess, would be.
I'm like in the middle.
Ooh, flirting with it.
I don't know.
You don't look into it.
I don't look into it that far.
He just hunts.
Smart.
That's all he did.
Probably the smarter way to be, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be controversial.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some stuff out of you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep going because your boy's gonna bring some stuff up.
It's your boy.
Jesus.
Doug hates it. Doug hates when I get spicy.
I think if you're looking at it as like the quality of hunting, it's a thumbs up.
Yeah, agree.
But if you're looking at the tradition of hunting, thumbs down.
yeah, I think yeah, for sure. I think it's just social, like social. There's a culture of hunting on social,
Yeah.
and that's back and forth every other minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I see things and I'm like, yeah, man, it's everyone's good. Like even in our own Facebook group, like we can, you know, there's 20-some thousand people in there, but like most times it's good.
Yeah.
But then you get a dude in there, you're like,
Why are we even talking about
What are you
this?
doing?
yeah, like it's just
like, what the fuck the point?
what's that?
Like some of the shit that some people bring up. It's
Oh,
like,
right,
why,
right.
Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, it's like it's not needed. And I think that's like the negative part of like hunting and socials, especially when it comes to like attacking industry people. Like we got blasted today for having Waddell on,
Right.
which it's almost like I love it a little bit. Like I wanted
For
us
a
to-
legend.
for
Yeah,
a
how you
legend,
gonna
right? An
blast
OG,
that
a
for that?
true OG. But like when Eric shot the giraffe, part of me was like super hopeful that CNN was going to call. You know what I mean? Like I was like, come on, let's do this shit.
We had the clip-on ties ready.
Because we got our first like real dose of hate when Austin's buck got eaten by coyotes a couple years ago, which is like a complete legitimate just thing that happens, right? Yeah. But we got our first like real dose of like fuck them guys. And at first it was kind of like, well, that bothered us because it was for genuinely like something that everybody does in hunting that they know they should do, right? But the giraffe, I'm like, let's
You
go.
let that slip by?
Let's go, baby. Hey, I almost want to repost it organically, like out of an episode,
I mean, you can.
just fishing.
It is absolutely amazing the stuff that people will get upset about on social media. Because like you just said, like there's some stuff that we've produced where you're like, you just think, well, someone's gonna throw a shit fit about this. So, you know, you're
Yeah.
kind of on the fence on
Waiting for the comment.
yeah,
To
waiting
post it or
waiting
not.
for it, and nothing
Nothing.
happens. And then the stupidest thing you can put out, people will just take offense to.
Really?
Yeah,
What's up? What's something people hate on you for?
turkey hunting, huge.
Oh, like reaping or something?
just style in general of turkey hunting.
Everybody hates on everything turkey hunting though right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's
I've never been able to understand it, but people get so fucking sensitive when it comes to turkey hunting.
it's weird.
10 times more than deer hunting.
What do you think it is?
I think there's so many different ways you can hunt turkeys effectively, and people, like, if you don't do it how they do it specifically, you're not doing it the right way, and they get all butthurt about it.
Yeah. But deer's the same way, kind of, but not as hardcore. Which I think I would have thought deer hunting would be more hardcore if they don't agree with the tactic. Like, you don't see. I know what you're talking about. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, you have the guys. They're like, if you're not doing it with a wing bone call and no blind, no decoys, it's wrong. No matter what, it's wrong. Mm-hmm. Which
there's a purist type of movement in turkey hunting. I would
but
say.
why turkeys? What's the deal?
I have no idea.
I don't get it.
It's
Because in deer hunting, you would think like the air bows, the crossbow seasons, fucking.
It's something with, I don't know. I think it's something with birds because you see it in waterfowl hunting. You see it in pheasant hunting. Like,
Oh, really?
just
Waterfowl too.
Style of hunting, I feel like.
But what's weird too, on the same note though, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, but the same note, no one really cares that much about birds. Like, like anti-hunters.
Some people do,
Yeah,
but
but
just
like-
not us.
but
I
like,
do.
Yeah, but like, I guess
but not to like a level of some people.
well, what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
getting at is like, if an anti-hunter sees a guy with a turkey, and then Eric's ugly mug with a giraffe, that he don't give a fuck about the anti-hunter. Doesn't care about the turkey,
Yeah.
right? It's like whatever. It's a turkey. It's a turkey. It's like,
It's a bird,
but the giraffe, fuck you.
which no
You know
one,
what I mean?
everyone loved the giraffe. I mean,
Did you even get one death threat?
no.
God, we failed.
God.
I was hoping
Hey,
for one.
We're going to have to repost it.
I'm
Some-
reposting
That's when
it
you
this
know when
week.
you made it, is when you get the death threat.
Yeah.
I was hoping for at least one, but not one person. Everyone congratulated
We
me.
didn't post it when we were in South Africa. So I'm like, dude, you got to be home. You don't want
Yeah.
someone to try and burn your house down.
I got some fucking 18-year-old kid watch my house, and someone comes there with a bazooka.
Sorry about it.
But why? Yeah, I don't get what the deal is with it. You know?
I've never been able to figure it out. And like I said, it's within the last 4 or 5 years, it just seems to set people off more than ever before.
We don't get turkey hate until we podcast with Waddell, and I purposely always get him worked up about it because he
Yeah.
just goes off the charts on it.
Yeah.
And then people are all like, get mad at him for whatever. It's like, all right, dude, the guy's killed more turkeys than everybody on Instagram. You know, it's like, and maybe that's why they hate on him because I don't know. I don't get it either. I just thought it'd be fun to bring it up. I'm building up the controversial Doug's dreaded topic.
Giraffes.
Giraffe?
What bothers you guys? Like, what's something that you guys would like to see change, or something you're just like, man, not a huge fan of?
On, like, just in hunting in general,
Anything?
man, I feel like we've already, like, touched on it. But,
I
like,
think-
just the social media hate, like,
Yeah.
be happy for other hunters. Like,
We don't got to talk about this. I'm trying to get controversial.
I think
a little
the whole cell camera controversy right now, it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, because Kansas just banned public land
Yeah.
yeah.
Cell cams or trail cams?
Trail cameras in general.
in general.
They banned, I want to say,
It was-
banned cell cams on public a few years ago, and now they ban trail cameras in general.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't like it at all because it's one more thing they're taking away from us, and where's it gonna stop?
That's
Yeah,
a healthy
no,
way to
that's a
look
good
at
point.
it, I
Yep.
think.
The thing that frustrates me is we're taking it away from ourselves.
For sure.
Like
For
when you
sure.
look at some of these things we're regulating, whether it be turkey hunting, deer hunting, you name it, we're regulating ourselves. I mean, yes, we need to do that from a conservation standpoint, but sometimes I feel like we're over-regulating ourselves because people online,
Yeah.
or you name it, take offense to a certain way you hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we could go down the crossbow
Yeah.
avenue, but
Right.
myself personally, I don't really care to hunt with a crossbow. I see the benefits for some people. I feel like there should be different sorts of regulations and season dates for them.
Agreed.
But I'm not going to sit and shit on somebody about how they hunt. Like,
Right.
if you want to hunt with a crossbow, hunt with a crossbow. And
Yeah.
Do your thing. As long as you do it the way it's regulated properly,
Then do it.
Yeah, then
do
you can't
it.
really be mad at them for it.
Yeah.
Agreed. I do agree with that. I don't get, and we've talked about this a handful of times. It's almost like it's embarrassing how much time some of the people go out of their way to bash for like a tactic when they could just be bashing complete wrongdoing. Like a different tactic is not a wrongdoing if it's legal. But there's people out there completely fucking the system. And it's like,
And you don't hear about them.
and you don't hear about it. Like, I know dudes that work for huge companies that openly poached, and people are still buying from them and shit. It's like, that's the stuff that needs to be put on blast, not, oh, he likes to use a decoy or not a decoy.
And you're blasting me because I grunted at the wrong time.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Eric likes to use a bleat call from time to time and shoot a giraffe, which is completely legal. Arrest him, you know?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's fun to talk about from time to time. But yeah, like the hate pages, man, like some of them early on, I respected the mission because it wasn't a hate page. It was a call out page for people doing the wrong thing.
Keep people in check.
Keep people in check because there needs to be some sort of like social policing. But now they're just hate pages to hate. And I have said it before, when you try to end industry, if you try to end hunting industry, you end hunting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't know if those guys think about that or not.
And if you look at a lot of the hate pages online right now, like they started off with good intentions, and now they've grown to the point where they want to get as much attention as possible, and they're running out of things to talk about, so they're just trying to shit on.
They're
as much
almost becoming the things they shit on.
exactly.
You know, it's like, hey, bitch, you're doing the same shit. If someone, like, here's the thing. If we kill a big deer and we do a podcast on it, yes, we're promoting our brand. We're promoting what we did. We're proud of this big buck. Great thing for us. Or a long form conversation. We can talk about every detail. Like, if something shady goes on, we talk through it, right? That's a benefit to our platform. But it's like, yes, we benefit from the attention of the big buck and the post and the episode and all that too. But then they might have something shitty. They're doing the same thing, but in a
100%.
negative light,
Right.
Yeah.
you know. But
That your podcast with Austin on his buck like just pissed me off when people were hating on that, because I mean, if you hear his situation out, he did the right thing.
that's what,
100%.
dude. I felt so bad.
I would
for
have
him.
done the exact same thing he did.
I think 9 out of 10 hunters would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Bow hunters.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that hated on him, I think they were more mad that they'll never be in the situation he was in than actually mad at him for the situation
That's
he was
all
in.
it is.
Right. Joe Rogan hit him up. Like, that's the fucking craziest thing.
Right.
It's on Joe Rogan's desk in 12 hours. It's like, and I just love the end because Austin's so humble. He just reads off his fucking, like his career.
Well, and he's so humble. That's why he felt bad about it, because so many people were giving him shit about it. It's like,
Yeah,
and he felt bad. He was up all night, dude. He did not sleep that night because
You know,
there was so much shade thrown at him, and he could not sleep because he questioned if he did the right thing or not.
Yeah, he 100% did. Austin actually got rid of all his socials.
Yep.
He still has the accounts. He just deleted everything off his phone.
Yep.
Which I don't blame him.
Good for him.
You know, he's an OG, dude. You don't need Instagram. We'll post for him. You know, top 3 women hunters in the game. What's up, Doug?
Are we starting with Doug?
No, let's go around the table.
No, I'm talking to them. I'm asking them.
Yeah,
This is my gateway.
Like killers,
Killers
Melissa Bachman,
is awesome.
Nicole Reeve, and Tiffany Lukoski.
What's cool about Tiffany, OG hot chick of the game, and a killer.
Yep.
You guys have any women on your team?
Mike's wife hunts
yeah.
with us a little bit, but
Yeah.
other than that, a couple of the other guys' wives hunt a little bit, but not.
Wives, daughters. I mean,
That's cool.
stuff like that.
That's cool. It's just it's a fun conversation. It's overplayed, but dude, you remember Tiffany getting close? I'd explained to Dakota what Tiffany Lukoski did in the industry as a chick and a killer. My buddy Dakota's a non-hunter, so I kind of had to give him like non-hunter sounds weird. He's not into hunting. He doesn't hunt. I don't know. Non-hunter.
Non-hunter, sure.
So it was like cool. I got to explain to him like when I was younger, when because Getting Close was our first show, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like how she was like the babe and then they killed big bucks, which just like flipped the industry on its face for like couples that hunted.
Yep.
Do you remember? Were you
Yeah,
around for
yeah.
that? Did you watch all that stuff? Like, just Tiffany, bless her heart, man,
Yep.
killing it. Doug, who's your favorite?
You guys totally forgot about the original OG lady in the hunting
Are you
industry.
going with Vicky?
Oh yeah,
Oh, Vicky.
Vicky Cianciarillo.
She's awesome. You want to hear a funny backstory? My buddy Jim Burns, rest in peace, always was like, Vicky, she's got the nicest ass.
When was this?
Years ago. So I grew up hunting with Jim. Jim and my dad were like my two main influences. And Jim was just like a heavier set guy, always happy, always having fun, like would laugh uncontrollably, belly laugh. And then it was just, even if it wasn't that funny, he laughed so hard that we all just started laughing with him. And that's just all I remember is like, Vicky. Ralph and Vicky were the shit. We watched them all the time growing up. It's like, oh, they're awesome. Vicky, her ass is so nice. They just always commented on her ass. I'm like, I never even thought to look at her ass, like, but that's funny, It's like old Jim Burns for you. But that's like what I remember is like, oh yeah, okay, I guess Jim Burns is into that thing. But Vicky is remember that buck she killed in early 2000s?
Was it like a two?
Colorado,
It was the biggest.
It was
I think
Colorado.
It was like the
Colorado.
biggest bull
It's like a 204
kill from a female at the time
on video.
on video.
Which is crazy. That was Colorado, like Eastern
I'm
Colorado.
almost positive it was.
It was Colorado, 100%.
It was like in a pasture.
It's on Monster Bucks.
Yeah, it's a sick hunt.
Yeah, I wonder if I can look it up.
Oh yeah, it'll be on there.
Sion.
No, V. It starts with a V.
Their last name does?
No, it's a
no.
C.
C-A or C.
It's like
C-I-A.
Italian.
Since
Sion.
Spell it like it's
Oh, right there.
Italian. There you go.
They live not far from us.
There you go, Ralph.
203 Colorado Whitetail.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a sick hunt.
We had them on the podcast a couple years ago, and they were awesome. Yeah, look at that thing.
Ralph's so funny.
That's got to be way Eastern Colorado, huh?
That deer's got to be so massive to be 209.
Sheesh.
Like,
Her emotion after the shot was
because it's
what
pretty
sold
much a
this video.
mainframe 10.
oh, look at him, all hunched up.
Oh, blood
He's
up the
hurting.
nose already.
He's hurting.
Ooh.
His frame looked a lot like your buck you shot this year.
Yeah, he's very similar.
Wow, I wonder where they're at.
This is awesome emotion.
She's awesome, dude.
God, she looks so young there.
Yeah.
How old? What year did it?
I'll have to look and see. I'll have to look.
Just waited 45 minutes.
It's got to be the, like around 2000 ish.
Say early
Yeah, I'd say
2000.
03, 04.
It's been telling me to stay calm, stay calm.
Best banter and a couple in the game.
Racing.
Oh, for
Ralph
sure.
and Vicky has the best banter.
Okay. This is where he started his sag out. There's my arrow.
I grew up shooting Hoyt, so they were like one of my people, you know what I mean? Like I just like
I did too.
you paid attention to the people that shot the same stuff you shot.
Yep. I bought my Hoyt back when they shot Hoyt. Waddell. Well,
What
Waddell.
was your first Hoyt? Do you remember?
Hoyt X-Tech.
Oh, you had an X. I had a Hoyt Ultra Sport, and then I got a used Hoyt X Tech. My dad bought me one off of
Was it,
eBay.
was it Ultra before or after the
I
X-Tech?
think the year before, but I ended up getting it like a few years later, and the X Tech was like a couple years
Yeah.
old when I got it. You know,
Still to this day, it's like my number 3 favorite bow.
I got rid of mine, and I regret it. Yeah, my dad had a V Tech.
I shot my first buck with that bow, my first turkey with that bow, first antelope.
You still have it?
Oh yeah.
I still got mine.
Look at that thing,
Look at
man.
that thing, Jesus.
You had an X Tech too, Doug?
Ultra Sport
I wish I
Still
still
got
had
it.
mine, man. That's a hammer.
monster.
Do you still have every bow that you've owned?
Except one.
I'm jealous.
I have my first 2. I got mine PSC Nova and then my X-Tech.
That was my very first bow, was a PSC Nova.
Let's see when this
I missed a lot of deer with that bow.
originally aired on Monster Bucks. I can't
But you
even.
killed a lot too.
14?
Not as many as I missed.
Right? That's 14, right? XV?
That's 15.
15. Man, really? That late? When did Monster Bucks 15 come out? I remember getting Monster Bucks 10.
That's old. Like that's,
Google it.
I don't know how many there are now.
What year
but-
Monster Bucks 15? So it'd be the film the year prior.
So Monster Bucks.
Right there.
Oh, come on.
You can get it for $4.29 right now.
Release. Scroll down. It says release. No, it just says that.
Oh, release date. Oh, January 1. All right. We
We
got
have that one at camp. Well,
I have it here in
I've got like all of them.
a bin.
yeah, at our deer camp, we have like every Drury DVD, every Monster Bucks DVD.
Dude, I have
7?
07.
07. So,
So 06 they would have shot it.
yeah, so I would have been,
Ish.
I shot an X-Tech at the time.
That was the year I graduated high school, which would have been when I had my Hoyt X-Tech.
See, I had the X-Tech and I loved it. And that was like it was like my first like badass bow, I thought.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
And
Like I went from my PSE Nova shooting like from 20 to 25 yards with a 6-inch drop to my X-Tech, which was like a 2-inch drop.
It's fucking awesome, dude. I wish I still had it, man. I got rid of all those bows. Like at the time, I got rid of them to buy the next one because I didn't have the money to just go buy a new bow. You know what I mean? So, and then I bought a Hoyt. My first bow I bought with my own money. I shot that X-Tech until I graduated. I bought a Hoyt Maxxis 31. So I remember Ralph and Vicky were in the Maxxis 31, one of the Maxxis 31 commercials talking, and it was like the first like past parallel limb bows, and I'm like, oh hell yeah,
You gotta have that.
yeah. It was my thing. I bought it from it was R&R when they were in Clinton.
Yep.
I bought it from them, so I was like, oh yeah, look at this thing. I do still have that bow. I printed out decals. It was like my name in cursive and put them on the limbs. I made my own like edition bow. I was so proud of it. That's why I never got rid of it.
You ever shoot them like your old bows?
I'm scared to shoot it because it's been sitting so long.
I shot mine like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's like eye-opening. Like
Vibration.
when I shot my X-Tech, because I thought that bow was just the shit when I had it.
The cat's ass.
And you compare it to like the bows nowadays, and you're like, wow,
Did it just rattle your arm?
huge difference. Like, I mean, just the back wall on the bows nowadays compared
Yeah.
to them.
I got my dad's old Hoyt in the bedroom here. I had to get it out and sleep. He put a new string on it before he passed away, which I'm like, Dad, just hang that thing up, man. You're not going to shoot that thing anymore. You got a new bow. He's like, I might want to get it out. I'm like, you won't.
You won't.
When you get that new, because he got an Elite. I'm like, once you get that bow, you're not going to want to shoot that old bow anymore. But it's cool. It's sitting there with a neon green brand new string on it.
All right.
I should get it out and shoot it just for the shits and gigs. But Doug, you name your top 3 worst Instagram hunters that are women.
Worst. I'm not doing that.
Just straight putting Doug on blast to get in trouble.
Pass.
Well, what do we miss, boys? I don't want to miss anything on the breaking point. I want to make sure we turn over every stone there for you, or if we don't, you just an excuse to come back in.
I guess anybody that's not familiar with who we are or what we're doing, YouTube's probably the best place to find our content. We've got probably over 500 videos on there.
It's impressive.
Like we kind of mentioned earlier, our season 10 drop will be this summer, starting in August, kind of fizzling out throughout the entire fall. And then we also produce a mini series with turkey hunting called Breaking Spring. We are in the process of dropping season 9 as we speak. New episode hits the channel every week. And we got the semi-live show that comes out every Monday all year long. Just kind of building that story throughout the year, where we're at, what we're doing throughout the year, whether it's shed hunting, turkey hunting, planting food plots, all that shit. Pretty
Everything.
much what we're doing throughout the year.
Awesome.
So a lot of content on the YouTube channel. And
And the lives. We got
the rut lives that Mike talked about, that was something we dabbled in last year, and I feel like we got it pretty dialed in by the end of the season. And that is, we'll have 3 or 4 live units in the field. I guess the best thing to kind of relate it to is if anyone's ever watched like Bassmaster Live on Fox Sports, we have live units in the field streaming our hunts live as they're happening. And
That's awesome.
We
No kidding.
We actually killed 2 bucks last year.
we killed 2 bucks on the live
Really?
last year, and then we got 2 in-studio hosts that kind of narrate or they host the entire event, so it kind of there isn't any downtime on the events. It's not just guys sitting out in the woods.
Right.
So there's always action packed, and a lot of the great companies that we work with, we were able to give $2,000-$3,000 worth of gear away every time we did a live stream. So it's we try to give back to the people that are tuning in and watching. So
That's awesome. And when did those start?
we ran those last year from mid-October until mid-November, mid to late November.
We might
Damn.
switch it up this year. We might do an opener. We've been talking about maybe doing a North Dakota opener live. Now that like we kind of used it last year as the preseason in North Dakota and like in late September as kind of a testing ground for us with it, trying to work out some of the kinks. But now that we got stuff kind of figured out more, we thought it'd be maybe fun to do like North Dakota. We usually have like 4 or 5 guys hunting opening day.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of a cool time to have live unit streaming.
Damn. I can't imagine trying to like.
It's a
coordinate
lot.
that.
It is.
So you're using like freaking live video switchers and shit in the field to the studio and all that. Like that's got to be daunting.
Yeah. It's
It's a
When
clusterfuck.
we-
It's gotta be.
when we
It's gotta
mess.
be.
so we do work on the bass fishing industry, and I went to one of the events a couple years ago, and that's kind of where I got to see what those guys do with the live when they're streaming live in the field. And it kind of just sparked the idea for me, like, why isn't anyone doing this in the hunting industry?
Right. Yeah.
And so that kind of got it going, and like trying to figure out learning what we had to do, and realized it was a lot more than what I thought.
Oh man.
And I mean, it's a pretty hefty investment to do all that, but I mean, it was a cool experience to get it off and rolling this year, and
Yeah.
we're just hoping to expand off it going into this fall. So
The cool thing for me was last year when Hunter killed his buck on the live. Like we were hunting in Illinois and our service was shit. And when we're recording on those live units, we kind of have our phones on silence for the most part because we don't want to be in front of the live unit like sitting on our phone swiping Tinder or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways,
Instagram.
after Hunter killed, like we were getting ready, we shut our live unit down, we're getting ready to get out of the tree, and I opened my phone and there's just messages like rolling in like, holy shit, Hunter just shot a nice buck on the live. Like that was fucking awesome.
it's
I'm
pretty,
like, holy fuck.
it's pretty cool because we have a Snapchat group for the live, and we utilize it to kind of keep shit organized while stuff's going on. And when someone would shoot one, like everyone would just freak out on the Snapchat group.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Nobody else is doing anything like that I'm aware of in that fashion, right?
Yeah, no one in the hunting industry.
It's badass, dude.
That's awesome.
Kudos to you for like
Yeah.
seeing that opening and going for it. That's what's refreshing, doing like real
Something different.
original content that's like there's just so much of everyone's trying to do the same shit.
It's such more raw emotion too, like
Yeah.
with that than like
It's just real.
yeah.
If you fuck up, everyone sees it.
Like-
God, the pressure. I don't
when
want
you
to be that guy. I don't want to be
We'll-
that guy.
We'll put one of them on later. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to see. When it all goes down, like, and you're watching it, it's just like, holy shit, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like you even hear it in the producer, like the guys that are doing the commentary for the show. Like you can just
So is
feel
the
this-
commentary going on while the hunt's there?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh damn! It's like Joe Rogan and freaking Daniel Cormier commentating a hunt.
yeah.
No
Oh,
shit.
that's crazy.
Like
How the hell did
last
I miss
year,
that?
like Spitzley and them, he's one of the guys in studio running the thing, and they could hear the buck that was walking through, like crunchy through the leaves, and you could hear him. He's like, "Oh shit, someone's got a deer on him." And then the deer steps out, and they're like, "Oh fuck, that's a nice buck," and walks out, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is gonna happen!" And all of a sudden, Hunter just sticks them, and they,
So you guys
they
can't hear the
freak out.
commentary in the field.
No,
Good thing.
no.
Yeah.
But the commentary is live as a video shooting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Holy
How did we
sh-
miss this?
I don't know. You guys got to do better at marketing.
Jeez.
I'm kidding. We're hunting.
Tough crowd.
That's
tough
why
crowd.
we didn't see it because we're hunting too. I'm joking with you guys, but
yeah, I mean,
that's incredible.
yeah, it's
Well, now that
It's
at least
fun.
our audience that didn't see it will know.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And then you can go back. So when those go up, they stay up.
They live on the channel.
Yeah,
They live on the
they're
channel.
on our YouTube still. So if anyone wants to go check them out and see what they're about,
I'm gonna
Go
have
take
a
a
little
look.
mount in the tree that screws in the tree for my phone, so I can watch you guys live. On
you would not believe the amount of people that was my biggest fear when we did this. It's like, well, because we aired them on Saturdays because it just worked out with guys on the crew.
Yeah.
You know, we could get more people doing it in the field because I mean, essentially, you need 8 people to commit to this plus 2 hosts. So it just worked out better to do it on Saturday. Well,
Yeah.
most people are doing their hunting on Saturday. So my biggest fear was we weren't going to get the attention.
Yeah.
You know, but I was so shocked the amount of people that are like, dude, I watched you shoot that buck in the tree. Like
That's
I was
awesome.
watching it on my phone. It's like, I would not be watching my freaking phone.
Yeah, they're like sitting there, like people commenting, like, this is the coolest shit. Like, I'm sitting in a tree watching you guys sit in a tree.
Yeah.
See, that is cool. But you'd be surprised, man. Like, there's a lot of guys listening to podcasts while they hunt.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it either.
But, dude, I don't know. That's badass. You guys have really turned over something else. Watch a bunch of people try doing it now.
Oh, I'm sure.
But also, maybe not, because the hassle and the investment that it takes to coordinate that.
Yeah, it's a big investment.
And it probably takes a lot of know-how to run the equipment to do that.
I'll be honest. When Mike
And
pitched,
I wouldn't even say we have it all down pat yet. I mean, there's a lot of kinks. There's always stuff going on every show that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I can't take credit for a lot. I mean, Scott, one of the guys that helps out with some of our production stuff, he kind of took that project by the horns. Mm-hmm. I really was just kind of the overseer of it, and did a lot of the testing work with him. So he gets a lot of the credit for
That's awesome.
what it's turned into. It was,
So anybody that wants to intern with you guys has got some work ahead of them.
yeah. And we actually, I mean, that's one of the, we're talking kind of about what we got going on this year, but with the interns, we haven't really announced anything on it yet, but we got something in store for those guys too.
Cool.
Something for the channel that will be kind of their thing.
And that
They're going to have to
young
compete.
whippersnappers in there.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. I like that. Be paying attention to the YouTubes.
Yep.
That's exciting, man. You guys
Yeah,
are doing a lot of
it's
cool
awesome.
stuff.
Yep. I think
A lot of stuff.
this fall we would be airing I mean, peak fall, October, we'll be airing like 5 shows a week.
Damn.
That's hustling.
How?
That's hustling, boy.
That's impressive. That's got to be more content than anyone in the game, right?
I don't know. I feel like juries are right there. I mean, I guess I don't know what they drop every week, but
They do turn and burn.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, but
impressive.
them and,
But I can,
them and the THP guys, I mean, it's a full out grind
yeah, it's
for
Yeah.
them too.
Yeah, mad respect for everyone who's doing that level, that quality and that level of content. Sometimes.
Midwest Whitetail too. I mean, they're right at the top.
There's a lot of real good dudes in the game. There is.
Mad respect to you guys, man.
Yeah. Congratulations on all the success, too.
Yeah,
and
congrats.
10 seasons. That's,
You too, man. I mean,
thank you.
like I said before,
this is awesome. What you guys have built. This is fucking sweet.
Thanks, man. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time out of obviously your busy schedules to come see us in person to basically just take what quality this could have been over the phone or over a Zoom call to make it just that much better for us. So
In person.
So shout out to you guys for making the drive and the commitment to doing this for us. So
and we're not that far, so whenever you want to do it again,
Yeah.
we'll be here.
this was fun.
Don't leave your spitter in the room.
Yeah, that's the rule. But yeah, thanks for putting up with my dark jokes and me trying to get Doug to
In the shenanigans.
make pussy jokes on the podcast or whatever.
He stood his ground. I was impressed.
I'm a
there.
good boy.
All right,
No,
Doug.
you're not.
Why don't you say what you said before the podcast started?
I can't.
Why? be real with the people, dude.
I didn't say anything.
You're
You said it.
dishonest.
You said it, not me.
You guys do like after hours at all? Working class after hours?
So we're
Or
gonna
just like uncuffed?
We used to do like the third shift
we're
files.
gonna
Remember
do
that?
Yeah, we're gonna do a thing called the third shift files, but then we do that anyway though. Like we'll do like Patreon lives. We'll do, and we'll answer. I mean, we'll talk about anything on Patreon live, but it's we just talk about really anything anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just to do a third shift file is to talk about anything we would anyway. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I'll just make sinister, just off the wall jokes to just get a rise out of the audience 'cause it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like I'm so sarcastic to fault sometimes. Like on the podcast that launches this week that we're gonna air, I made a joke and no one backed me up. They just backed off from me and let me tread in deep water, and it didn't go over well.
It's entertaining.
I thought it was funny, and I stand by that. So we had a DNR officer on. Shout out to Brennen, great dude. He said something about, oh yeah, I'm in this program to get more people into hunting or whatever. And you guys were like, oh yeah, I'd take a buddy, get him into hunting. I'm like, dude, I'll take a friend once, but like, fuck you, pussy. Like, figure it out after that. Like, I ain't holding your hand. You know what I mean? It's like, we got enough people hunting. And no one laughed at all. And they just stared at me like I was the darkest, meanest dude in the game. But you know what? I stand by it.
I agree with you.
Thanks, man.
I think you got to get people into hunting, but at some point you got to take the gloves off and let them learn by their mistakes.
Figure it out. That's how. I mean, you're gonna be into it and be passionate about it, or you're not.
I mean, I bow hunted for 8-10 years before I shot my first buck.
It's a grind, man. It's hard for a reason.
Yep.
Also, youth season. Some states you can hunt till you're like 18 in the youth season. The fuck are we doing? I didn't know there was a youth season. I'm like, Dad,
wild.
you shorted me, bro.
I didn't know there was either.
You know what I mean?
Besides duck hunting, that was it.
Yeah. It's like, let's get it together. I don't know. Plus, I just say shit to get a rise out of people. Like, I know Doug doesn't like talk about certain things, so I'll purposely
Bring it up.
touch on things to just get spicy. Doug really likes huntresses.
No.
He thinks there's a lot of like really ones out there that are killing it on their own.
Like wife potential.
No, they're doing great.
A lot of good hunters. Doug, in your opinion, what percent of girls that have Instagram accounts that are hunters, what percent of them are legit? Like, could go off on a new piece and kill a mature buck with a bow? Give me a percentage. What do you think?
Every time Doug gets nervous, he touches his mustache.
I don't know, like 30% maybe.
I'm gonna say like 3.
For real.
I just say 2%.
Why don't you say what you said before the podcast?
No, I won't.
30%. Final answer.
Yeah, I'm stuck
I
in
said
that.
30%. It could be 30%. I would say all the girls that listen to this podcast, I feel like are legit.
Do you want to phone a friend?
And that's not me just catering.
Phone Kurt.
30% is pretty good because if you go
I didn't
one
expect-
out of every 10 hunters, is it kills a buck?
3.
Is that
3 out of 10 then.
is that a statistic? Really?
That's what I've always heard.
10%. So yeah, I guess like
You're
if you look
giving
at
them a
like
lot of
Colorado over the counter,
You're giving them a lot of credit.
I believe in them.
30. it's time to go. I'm just
believe it.
I'm just trying to get Doug in trouble is all I'm doing by him saying something he doesn't believe or maybe not believe in.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Oh man, you guys got anything to close with? Where can people find you?
We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like I said, all of our video content's on YouTube. We do have our own Roku channel.
It's badass.
We air on Waypoint.
Waypoint TV.
We air on Wild TV, Wild TV Plus.
Isn't that Canadian?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Great people.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Our reviews, our numbers in Canada are actually pretty good. People must,
Canada loves us.
I guess.
We're just talking to someone at Iowa that's got insane views on the same network. Said like Canada's wild.
Yep. So we're everywhere. Check it out. The Breaking Point.
I like it. You guys are
There you
doing a
go.
killer job. Congratulations on all the success. Doug, do you have
Congrats.
any last words?
We'll see you in 3 days.
Yeah. See you in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yep.
See you in 3 days, and congrats on your 10th season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's
Congrats
awesome.
to you guys.
Appreciate you guys. This was fun.
Anything? You got anything?
I'm happy. This was a good time.
Okay.
That's it. Glad you guys made it down. Appreciate it a ton.
Thanks for having us.
Go shoot your bow.
That's it. Later.